Did you know in Vail we are home to really, as far as I'm concerned, the world's best and only women-specific ski shop. Now, I don't know about the world, but at least in the US, they're revolutionary in this concept about making it all about the ladies. And here to tell us more about Outdoor Divas is my girl, Lauren. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
And you know, you guys, you have had a long history in specifically tailoring your gear to women.
Yep, since 2002, we've been focusing on fitting women in, equipment from ski boots to, at one point, even kayaks and so forth.
Wow.
So we've done a little bit of everything. But you're right, we're the only women-specific ski shop in the country. Wow. I'm not sure about the world, but definitely,
in my opinion, right? Only
definitely
place to go.
In the country. So, and one of the things we focus a lot on is boot fitting.
Okay, now boot fitting. This is something, Lauren, when I moved out here from Florida, of course, coming from sea level, I didn't know a thing about gear, nothing, right? But one of the things that I did know was that trying to find a ski boot for my foot, for my calf, it was really, really difficult. Mm-hmm. And I was looking mostly at like men's ski boots at the time because it was, like 15 years ago. But there is a difference in men's and women's ski boots, right? It's not just like the style. There's really a difference in how it comes together.
Right. So manufacturers have fortunately come a long way in the last 10 years, and they have realized that they can't build a ski boot for a woman in the same way that they build it for a man and just make everything smaller. We're not just smaller versions of men. We have a different body shape, different needs, and so they've come around and really made some great strides in fitting boots that will work a lot better than just taking the men's boot and putting it in a smaller size.
So what are some of the things that really make it a women's boot? Like, why is it women's specific?
Yeah, I get that question a lot, and there's a couple things. The biggest difference you're going to have between a men's and women's boot has to do with the height of the cuff. So they're usually going to be around 2 inches shorter, depending on the model and the size, than the men's version. And what that does is women's calf muscles actually attach about 2 inches lower on the calf than men's. So no matter whether you have a medium size, narrow, or larger calf muscle, it's always going to sit lower on your calf than your husband or your boyfriend or your brother. So you need to be in a women's boot that's going to allow that muscle to sit outside of the boot and make it much more comfortable.
That was one of my biggest struggles. It was squeezing my calf and then it was cutting off my circulation. It was so uncomfortable. So, all right, so big strides there. And then, we were talking the other day, and there's actually a difference also in the way that our foot is shaped too.
Yep, so men tend to have a little bit more equal volume from the heel to the forefoot. Women tend to be narrower in the heel and wider in the forefoot. A lot of times that's due to the types of shoes that we prefer to wear elsewhere. And so boot manufacturers have generally make their women's heel pockets a little bit narrower and make the forefoot just a little roomier to accommodate for that kind of more V-shaped foot. And so, if you're a woman out there skiing and your heels are moving around, that's a complaint I hear a lot as well. If you're not in a women's boot, getting in a women's boot can definitely help lock that heel down, or just getting in maybe a newer version that's got a little more technology. As I said, the manufacturers have come a long way in 10 years, and the difference between what was available a few years ago and now even is really great.
Isn't she amazing, right? There's so much knowledge to be found at Outdoor Divas. And so tell us where you're located and what your hours are.
Yeah, so we're right in Lions Head Village, very convenient. We're right in the left-hand corner as you walk into the village there, and we're there 8:30 to 7 right now.
Perfect. Well, Lauren, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. I always learn something new every time you're here. So stop on into Outdoor Divas, get yourself set up for the new year. Maybe spend the last day of this decade in comfort in the right boots. Coming up next, we have a look at that local weather forecast.